So what am I going to talk to you about today? Well, when I was sat down about a year ago, me and Brian were thinking about this, and we were like, what are we going to speak about? And what we've heard about is all kinds of really cool stuff today. But SEO, people come into our office all the time, and they go, Dave, how do we get to the top of Google? What's this SEO Jedi stuff that we hear about? SEO's dead. SEO is dead. Google's got it right. Google's now finally got it right. It focuses on the people. It thinks about experiences. Search experience optimization. Search experience optimization. There's loads of updates. There's loads of different social channels. And they're growing, and should we go in them? And are our customers in them? We talk about content marketing. What are we going to do? There's loads and loads of technology. It goes on forever. We've seen some serious cool tech today. I am going to become a Jedi Knight at last. At last I can become a Jedi. Holy shit, I can't believe it. But have you ever done that thing? Me and Brian do this sometimes, where you say, okay, what would we do now in our business? But if we were to go 5 years down the road, or even 10 years down the road, what would we be doing then? What would we be doing in our business now that's going to really help our clients generate more cash? And there's loads of technology, and it goes on, there's all these different channels. But what's the one thing that we always, always, always have to be focused on? It's us. It's people. Who sits behind the keyboard? Who types in the searches? It's us. And if we give people incredible experiences, because it's not about links, it's not about keywords and stuff, it's about creating world-class digital experiences on any device, whether it's wearable technology, whether it's Google Glass, whether it's these watches that are coming out and these things that I eat that are going to tell me when I'm going to die. You know, it's about world-class experiences. And if we focus our attention on that and understand it, then we can win online. So what makes people tick? This is the thing. What makes people tick? So for the last year, I've been looking at all this crazy stuff and learning all about it. What makes people tick? So I went back to BC 384, or something like 384 BC. Aristotle. Who's heard of Aristotle? Yeah, we've all heard of Aristotle. Nice man, apparently. Nice man. He was one of the founders of communication. Yeah? A bit of a genius of his time. Very, very ahead of his time. And he had ethos, logos, and pathos. And ethos was persuasion through credibility and trust and achievement. Social proof. Logos, consistency, facts, figures. Give them the evidence to help them make better decisions. But then we had pathos. Pathos, persuasion for human emotion. Now, studies have been done on this, and the best speaking and the best stories, and we'll be hearing about stories later on with Bri, the greatest stories that exist today are at least based on 65% emotion. So are you thinking about the emotions that are in your stories and what you're saying? In the last 10 years, we've learned more about the human brain than we ever knew before in our entire existence. The last 10 years. Just think about what happened in the last 10 years. It's nearly 10 years ago since we won the Champions League. But if we take what neuroscience has taught us, what all these genius people about the brain, if we really focus on that, we can influence behavior and persuade people to do what we want. Real Jedi stuff. Real Jedi stuff. So now what I thought, well, I'm going to give you some cheeky little tricks from all my learnings. Has anyone heard of Dr. Stephen Peters? The Chimp Paradox. If you haven't read it, I really urge you to read it. He's the top sports psychiatrist. He works with the Liverpool team. Luis Suarez left him in England, and look what happened. But he's really helped people and connected with people's brains. So we need to learn to do this as marketeers. And he talks about the chimp, which is the neocortex of the brain. It's how we feel. It's that gut instinct. It's when we walk up to the bar and we judge someone. We feel first, think second. The limbic part of the brain he calls the human. It's based on facts and figures and seeks the truth. If we can learn to connect with these things as digital marketeers, we can get better results. We can improve our experiences, we can connect more with people, and we'll get more of what we want. So let's look at the human. Persuasive facts and figures. People seek the truth. They want the answers, they want the evidence to make smart decisions. But facts and figures shouldn't just be boring. They shouldn't just be numbers on a page. We have to work harder to do something with them. I haven't got a clue if that's true or not, but it's quite funny. And straight away you're laughing. It's not what it says, it's how it's made you feel. You're laughing because it's how it's made you feel. And when we see funny memes and things like that, we're actually sharing how we feel. That's what we're doing. So how do others do it? Facts and figures. Wonga, love them or hate them. They're having a hard time at the moment, God love them, Wonga, but they understand their customer. You know, how much do you as marketeers and business owners understand your customer? At the top, they know their customer is a little bit, I need some money, I really need some money, I need it now. Their first sentence says, within 5 minutes you can have £500, stats and evidence to convince them to do what they want. They don't have charts of how much you're going to spend and how much it's going to cost you. They have active, real-time measurement movement with facts and figures, making it easy for the user with a great experience to take the decision that they want. eBuyer. Technical decision. I want a MacBook. I actually don't like Macs. I think they're like wags. They look great, but they're a pain in the arse to use.
Good man.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, Windows. Anyway. Key features, clear facts and figures. Giving me the facts that I need. But what they do great, I'll go back to that, their reviews are brilliant. Customers give them reviews and they create a facts and figures bar chart on the page, making it more engaging. And they tell you when you're going to get it. They tell you what date and at what time you're going to get it. Answering the questions, but giving you the facts and the evidence of what's going to happen. ASOS, video proof. Clear facts and figures. They give you size, they give you dimensions. They now have a video catwalk with dimensions so you know what it's going to feel like when you're walking along the catwalk and you've got your dress on, girls. You know what it's going to look like. It's the moment between the moments, but that's another story. The next one, be truthful. The human brain wants the truth. This guy, David Ogilvy, I can never get his name right when I'm on stage. Now, I've said this before and I've pulled this guy out. This guy is a genius. The consumer isn't a moron. She's your wife. He doesn't know my wife, right? But what he's saying is treat them like you love them. And be truthful, because, lads, we all know we've got to tell the truth to our wives and girlfriends. We've got to be honest, because our wife is an expert now, and she's got a smartphone. And if we don't tell the truth, she's going to share lots of bad stuff and tell her communities all about you if you don't tell the truth. So how do we go about telling the truth? What should we be doing to connect with the human part of the brain? The neocortex, to help our customers make the right decisions. We need to be sincere. We need to be authentic. We need to be genuine. If it goes wrong, answer people. If you have a bad review on TripAdvisor and you see it, how they respond is the measure of the company, and it qualifies the good. Sincere, authentic case studies, social proof. I urge you to get your customers to do real life, not staged, authentic case studies. When we as marketeers tell people about our product, we're marketing. When our customers tell people, it's social proof. When people believe it, they're telling the truth. But be careful not to hit the bullshit monitor. Who would you trust out of these two? But as humans, NLP was mentioned before. There's a thing called the critical faculty. It's our bullshit monitor. And we get loads of this all the time. It's always happening to us. And marketeers are the best trainers of bullshit monitors in the universe. We train people to ignore stuff. It's true. That's why direct mail is back. It's retro trendy again, direct mail. Let's bring it back. We see over 10,000 links a day. 10,000 links. We ignore most of it. It's the bullshit monitor. Who won? Yahoo or Google? What do you want me to do when you look at these pages? Google simplification. If anybody hasn't heard of the FOG behavior model, check it out. Bless you.
Thank you.
The FOG behavior model. Basically what he says, get it on TED Talk, he says sometimes we don't need to motivate people more to do things. We just need to make the trigger easier. So think about your mobile responsive website. If you can't find the buy button, how are you going to buy it? Holy shit. Unbelievable. I stand up in front of recruitment conferences and I go, how many people have got a mobile responsive website? Hardly anyone puts their hand up. How the hell do you apply online on your phone? 50% of their traffic will be on a phone by the end of this year. They're not giving people world-class digital experiences. Now, this one pisses me right off. Right. For those that know me, I wake up at stupid times, so at 5:30 in the morning on a Saturday. The kids are still in bed. The wife, who I love and tell the truth, is still in bed. I get up and I make myself a bacon butty. And I have a bacon butty and I'll do my social media and I think, right, I'll read about Liverpool and who we're going to sign. But the Echo has this bloody autoplay video. And I've got Spotify playing in the background and I'm playing it along. And the next thing, this video automatically plays, interrupting my experience. I don't look at the Echo anymore. Pisses me right off. But the Express does the same. The Mail does the same. They have autoplay videos. What's all that about? And they're full of banner ads. Who clicks banner ads on websites? Exactly. On average, 0.2% of people click an advert on a newspaper. And we've done heat mapping on loads of client websites. And it's a fact. Why are we interrupting our customers from what we want them to do? Why are we doing that? You know, care and give a shit. Don't bullshit. Become a thought leader. Our brains seek information to inform us, to help us make better decisions. We justify in our brains that we're making the right choice. We seek the information. Brian will be talking a little bit later about the sales funnel. You've probably heard of awareness, interest, desire, action. Well, there's this thing now called See, Think, Do. The thought leader content is right at the top of the funnel when people are in research mode. Create content that answers your customers' questions when they're in research mode. What would they ask? What would they think? This guy was clever. He freaks me out a bit, actually, when I look at him. He does freak me out a little bit. 2003, the money-saving expert, he set out to create content for people trying to save money. Quite good. Imagine all the questions that go on in Google about saving cash. This guy stepped in and filled it, but he did one clever thing. He also made sure he created content for journalists. Influence the influencers. As a thought leader, influence the influencers. He sold it for, I think, £87 million in 2012. £87 million. He doesn't give a shit about saving money anymore. He still freaks me out. Who's heard of this girl? The Scouse Bed. Here you go. This girl was in there for a bit of fun. Thanks, Craig. The Scouse Bird, local kind of thought leader. She started by tweeting about wonky eyelashes. She's now famous for perms, pajamas, spray tans. And you know what? She's become a bit of a thought leader, become a little celeb. She's got her own agony aunt column now. She charges £90 for a retweet. £90. That's a few spray tans. So what do we do to become a thought leader? To help our customers' brains believe we're making the smart decision. What should we be doing? Well, what would the wolf do? He'd own his own space. He'd step in And he'd get in there and he'd get stuck in it and he'd become famous for what he was doing. He'd own his space. He'd work hard. And do you know what? That's what we have to do. Being good isn't good enough. We've got to be great. We've got to be remarkable. We've got to give our best stuff away. And it's got to be high grade. It's got to be high grade. Otherwise, why would people share it? Why would people share it? And we've got to engage our personas on our influences. The money-saving guy was a clever guy because he knew what journalists want and he hit on a nerve. But that all means crap unless we connect with the chimp. The emotional part of our brain acts 5 times faster than anything else. Anything else. So all that stuff you've just done to convince people, to make them feel better about the better decisions, to make the neurons go off and light up their brains, doesn't matter unless we connect with emotion, because it's 5 times faster. So we've got to think about what Stephen Peters says is the chimp. And you're lucky, because I tried to get a chimp to bring him on stage. And apparently they're quite aggressive chimps. So what's the first thing we need to do? 5 things we need to focus on to connect with the chimp. The neocortex, emotional drivers. There are 5 key emotional drivers that make us connect with people, that help light up the brain and create emotionally charged responses. And in neuroscience, when we use these emotions, they physically light up our brains. They light them up. You can't see it, but they do light them up. Happy. When we're happy and there's joy and there's interest, if you've seen the Dollar Shave advert, you're sharing it because it's cool and it's happy and it makes you laugh. Joy, it's interesting. We're sharing the experience, not the video. The experience, the emotion that we feel is what we're sharing. Sad. When we feel sad, we like to talk to people. Empathy. Sad is very powerful in empathy. Charity videos. Some charity videos, I believe, go too far and touch on the bullshit monitor. You know, I'm sure you all know what I mean. But there are some amazing videos out there that really use sad effectively. Charity Water's one. Fear. If this guy's chasing you, you're thinking, holy shit, I better get out of here. But that actually connects with the brain and we start to mirror it. When we watch films, when we sense fear, our heart rates go up. It's because we start to empathize and feel it. And when we see fear, we're compelled to bond. It's a scientific fact. We feel like we need to tell someone. We feel like we need to connect with someone else and tell them about it, creating amplification of our content. Anger. This guy was really pissed off. When he went into McDonald's, he wasn't very happy. But anger, create opinion. Maybe be a bit controversial in your content. Reach out to influencers and maybe disagree. You are allowed, but it might spark a conversation. Elicit a response. And anticipation. I'm not going to ruin the film, but does Sarah Bullock make it? Anticipation has been used by Hollywood forever. Teaser campaigns. And as humans with anticipation and curiosity, we're compelled to want to know the end. We want to know what the outcome is. What's going to happen next? Like with Breaking Bad or 24, you think, oh, I'll just stay up one more and watch one more episode. 24 should be sponsored by Red Bull. The next thing is speed. The chimp, the brain, reacts 5 times faster. Now, the obvious one, in 3 seconds, if your load time, your pages aren't loading, in 3 seconds, you're losing about 40% of your customers. 40% of your customers after 3 seconds. And for every additional second of load time, you're decreasing your chances of conversion, of application, or making a sale by 20%. Just think if that was your business today in the real world. If you owned a shop and for every second you were losing 20% of money coming through the till, holy shit, you'd do something about it. You really would. But it's so much more than that. Speed and experience, it's so much more than just the page load time. Jesus, can't get that right. So This is a great site. We did it. It's got to be a great site. And these guys have been amazing to work with. But we really thought about who the customer was and their experience. And actually, it loads with a video to show interest. It's a big background video. It's connecting with the chimp. And then it's fast because it quite simply says, who are you and how can we help? There's not thousands of links. It's simplification. It's based on the fog model. And the engagement has improved by 450%. 450%. That's a lot more engaged fans. Lead with empathy. If we show empathy and understand our customers and connect with their chimps, lots of little chimps, we then understand them better. I heard it mentioned before in John's presentation. Who's ever done a persona workshop about their customers? Put your hands up. I'm assuming we're in a room full of marketeers. That was probably 15% bad marketeers. Bad. How do we know what to say? Seriously, if we don't empathize and lead with empathy, how do we know how to talk to people? Because what you're doing is you're talking about you and not about them. You're not understanding their routines, their characteristics, the questions that they ask, the things that you need to say to convince them, to light up their brain, to lead with emotion. How are they feeling? How many people have done an empathy map about their customers? Not many. That's worse than the banner ad clicks on the bloody newspapers. How do we know how they feel? Bri's going to talk to you later about see, think, do. What are they seeing? What are they thinking? What do they want to do? What's the pain? What's the gain? What's the pleasure that they want? Only then do we know how to create world-class digital experiences and give them the content that they want, and we know what to say. The same wavelength. I love this one. This is like, and when I saw Tracy and the thing around the head, oh my God, proper geeky stuff. But this is true. Stories help us connect. This is research from a guy called Dr. Yuri Hassan. He's a Russian psychologist. This is marketing Star Trek. When we tell stories, the people who listen, our neurons in our brain mirror. We mirror each other, body language, but our brain does the same. We're hardwired to connect. If we tell a story to a person who's listening, we start to connect. This is serious shit. But unless we've understood and led with empathy and understood and used the emotions and thought about what our customers want to connect with, we don't know what stories to tell or how to tell them or what pulsing to take and the roller coaster and the journeys to take them on. So we got to get on the same wavelength, and it's proven in scientific fact. Pain and pleasure. Pain and pleasure. In the world of motivation and psychology motivation, pain and pleasure are the biggest motivators in life. Are there any women in here getting married soon? I'm not going to pull you out, don't worry. Anyone engaged? Come on, there must be a lot of single women in here, or soon to be. That's not quite right, is it? It's not quite right, that one. Okay. But basically, when you go to buy a wedding dress, people think they're going to buy the wedding dress because they want to look great on their wedding day. They want to look amazing. But what they definitely don't want to do is they don't want to look crap. A bride does not want to look bad. She's more motivated by the pain of feeling terrible on the day than feeling brilliant. It's the same with exercise. Exercise, we want to look good, seeking the pleasure of looking good. But as we get older, like little me, we want to avoid getting ill. We want to be more healthy. Pain and pleasure are the biggest motivators. So what do we need to do? Hurt and rescue. If you've done your persona mapping and led with empathy, we know the pain that our customers are experiencing. But don't be afraid to tell them about the pain and then show them the solution. We work with Nationwide Building Society. Has anyone tried to switch bank accounts? It's not as easy as they say. But what Nationwide have done really well, they've come up with an engaging way and taken what is going to happen to the persona. You go and look at any other website, any other bank website, it's just written text, it's boring. But this tells you what's going to happen on what day and when they're going to make contact. They bring up all the pain and say, but don't worry, this is how we're going to solve it for you. It's dead easy. Helping people make the right decision and connecting with their brains. Before and after photos. Before, classic. Dentists we work with, Ollie and Darsh, a great local brand. If you want your teeth whitening, go and see Ollie and Darsh. I'm sure the Scouse girl goes there. But before and after, show them the pain. But don't worry, this is how we're going to make you feel better. So we're motivated by avoiding the pain, but we're giving you the pleasure of how you're going to feel after you've used us or our service. Missing out, scarcity, stock availability. There's only 3 rooms left on this one. You better book it now. Oh no, there's only 2 left. You've seen it. Hotel sites, they have it all the time. They're telling you that 2 people are looking at eBay is a classic for this. When you're looking at eBay, I want to. Scarcity, the fear of missing out. Not the pleasure of getting, oh, I'm going to miss out. Avoid pain, seek pleasure. But more than anything else, I truly believe this. It's about being memorable. And this is proven in science. It's proven in science. Everybody remembers this. Chemicals are released in the brain when we have highly emotional states in our minds. Everyone remembers where they were this. What's this? Shout out. John Lewis. Emotion, they led with emotion. But what happens when it becomes memorable? We release dopamine into our brains. It's the cocaine. It's the same chemical as cocaine. It's the save button of our memories. Everyone knows what happens in this advert. They lead with emotion. We even now look forward to the next one and the next one. Have you seen the John Lewis advert? It's memorable because dopamine has released it and saved it in our brains. But more than anything, we feel first and we think second. Connect with the chimp and you'll get through to the human and help the thinking. But more than anything, people may forget what you said or did, but we don't forget how we made them feel. It's been emotional.